Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I wanted to talk about my 2022 reading and channel goals. So let's just get right into it. So this is just going to be sort of like a beginning of the year update, I guess. I don't really have like an outline for this video or anything. Like I have no plans of what I'm going to talk about. There are a couple points I want to hit, but other than that, it's just going to be me talking about things that I want to change on my channel or things that I'm trying to change on my channel, and about my reading updates for the year kind of thing, I guess. So we'll start with my reading goal for the year. I sort of decided this year that I want to slow down with reading, which I have done a terrible job of so far. But I realized last year that I read 234 books, and to be honest, like, I feel like that was just kind of excessive. Like, not that I didn't enjoy reading them or that I think I should have read less, but I found recently I've realized that like a lot of the creators that I've been sort of paying attention to on YouTube or TikTok even, I've checked out their Goodreads to like see like how much they're reading, and a lot of them are only reading like 50-60 books a year, which is like, I'm not saying that's bad, like that's great, like obviously reading anything is great, but I just kind of felt like, how am I reading 230 books and still kind of only having the same amount of content as these people reading 60 books. So it's like I'm doing something wrong, obviously, because like it just doesn't add up, you know? So I was kind of like, okay, maybe I should slow down how much I'm reading, and I've set my Goodreads goal at 100 books for the year, which is what I set it at last year, because to be honest, anything more than 100 books is just like icing on the cake. It's not really like something that I feel like I need to strive for or anything. Like 100 books a year is a lot. That's like 2 books a week, which is pretty low for me, to be honest. But like I said, I do want to sort of take a step back, I feel like, and be a little bit more conscientious in like what books I'm picking up and why I'm picking them up. I found towards the end of 2021 I was reading just anything. Like I wasn't even reading synopsises of books anymore. I was just picking up any book that I had seen literally anywhere and reading it. And because of that, I had like a ton of 3-star reads that I didn't really love. And even like 4-star books that I read and I was like, in the moment, I was like, oh, they're good. But the more I thought about them, like, I can't even tell you what they're about anymore. Like, they weren't that great. And I don't want that to happen again this year. I want to spend the year reading books that I truly think I'm going to love. And I've been doing a little bit better with that. I have read 7 books already this year, and it's only the 10th. So I'm probably not really like cutting down on my reading, but I have been a lot more sort of aware of the books I'm choosing to pick up. I've been reading a lot more on Kindle Unlimited than I have from the library, which I think has been really good for me, because I just find I like those books better. I don't know, maybe that's just me being weird because I've been reading from the library so much and I only just got Kindle Unlimited, but I find I'm enjoying the books I'm reading a lot more, and I've just sort of been able to explore different niches that like my library doesn't have a ton of self-published books. Like they do have some, and I'm not sure where the line is really drawn, because sometimes I've requested books from the library that are self-published and they can't get them like from their distributor. But they also, like, my library has like the L. Kennedy like off-campus series, so that's self-published. So I'm not sure like where that line is drawn of like which ones they can get versus which ones they can't. But I've just been enjoying reading the Kindle Unlimited books lately a lot more than I have been reading the other books last year. So I sort of was deciding between like, do I cut down on my reading or do I film more videos? Because I'm like, I feel like I'm sort of wasting books, if that makes sense. I just feel like I'm not creating enough content with the books that I'm reading. Like I'm reading a book, talking about it for 5 seconds and then never talking about it again. And I don't really want to be doing that. So I'm thinking that I may start uploading more often this year. I'm not committing to that fully because every time I do that I end up not following through with it because I get overwhelmed. But I do think I will probably have more than 2 videos a week for most of this year. I have a ton of video ideas already, and it's only like January, and I'm really excited about a lot of them. I have some new like series that I want to start on my channel that I'm really excited about. I think they're gonna be really interesting and hopefully do really well. I don't know. I always think things are going to do really well and then they don't. I've sort of learned lately, I've been kind of like trying to figure out like what's doing well on my channel versus what isn't. And I definitely realized lately that like one of the things I need to focus on more is like the kind of content I want to create, which I feel like is such like a cliche of like people being like, oh, just post the videos you want to watch, and you're like, yeah, and it sounds so easy, but like when you fall into that like trap of just like cranking out videos, you totally don't even pay attention to what you would be watching anymore. And I realized towards the end of last year I was definitely doing that. Like I was comparing two videos that I posted in November and December last year. One of them being I read the book of the month, like top 5 books of the year, and the other one that I was comparing it to was my bully romance rec video. My bully romance rec video did way better than any of my other videos have ever really done, other than maybe like my book hauls, but it's done better for a rec video than any of my other rec videos. And so I was kind of like, okay, like that's kind of crazy because I threw that video kind of in there just because I wanted to film it, not because I thought it would do well or anything. And so I was kind of like, wow, like the one video that I actually wanted to like do did well, like that's crazy. But that book of the month video did terribly. Like it still like doesn't even have 100 views, and it's been up for like 2 months or something ridiculous. But I realized with that I was like, when I look at that video, the book of the month one, I'm like, I didn't really want to read those books. Like I had already read People We Meet on Vacation, and honestly if it weren't for that video, that probably would have been the only book from that, like those top 5 that I would have ever read. But I just like, I didn't want to read those other 4. I wasn't really interested in them. I didn't really care about them. And I read them for the sole sake of filming that video. For whatever reason, I got it in my head towards the end of the year last year that every time I saw a list, I felt like I had to film a video where I like saw like the top 10 romances of this or like top 10 romances here. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to read all of these and do a video on it. And I just like, I've kind of realized that I don't want to do that, and no one cares also. Like no one is watching those videos. And so I was like, okay, I need to sort of reevaluate where I'm at, because if I'm forcing myself to read books that I don't want to read because I have no interest in them, and you're following me because we have similar book taste, then you're gonna have no interest in those books either. So I literally don't even know like why I thought those videos would do well, but it's like just been like really eye-opening, I feel like, to realize like, okay, I should really just be posting the stuff I want to talk about, which like I said sounds so like straightforward and easy, but has been something that I have like really been struggling with the last year. And I also like got in a huge reading slump towards the end of the year because of it, and I don't want to do that again this year. Like I said, I've really been enjoying reading the Kindle Unlimited books right now. That's sort of where I'm at. I feel like I'm going to read a lot more dark romance this year because of Kindle Unlimited, which I'm excited about because like that's like sort of what I started out reading, and then I sort of somehow flipped to like all traditionally published like contemporary romances. And so it's kind of nice going back to like where I originally started and just like getting back to that. And so I'm excited about that. This year I also, this one is probably going to make some people sad, I am hoping to buy a lot less books this year. I got a little crazy this past year in 2021, and I think it's because in 2020 I was doing really, really well in a lot of ways, and I was kind of at a point where I was just kind of spending money like whenever I wanted to, like I didn't really care. And that year I actually did add up how much I spent on books, and it wasn't like a terrible number. Like I was okay with the amount I spent that year, but I know if I added up how much I spent in 2021 I would not be happy with that number. So this year I've kind of decided that I have made a few sort of like ground rules to my book buying that will hopefully stop me from buying so many books this year. And because of that, I obviously will not be having monthly book hauls this year. I'll probably have one maybe like once every few months, but that'll be it. I have, like I said, come up with some rules. I am going to keep my Kindle Unlimited subscription because I feel like that's like $120 for the year, which I feel like is totally reasonable because I've already read like 6 books in the first 10 days of the year on that, so I feel like it will more than pay for itself. Next is like used book sales. If you've been on my channel this year, in September, October, I posted some hauls from a used book sale I went to. I do want to go back to that sale again this year. So I've sort of allowed myself to buy whatever I want at that sale because things are like so cheap at that sale. The most expensive book was $3 and they just had so many books. So that I'm sort of allowing myself to do. Pre-orders, I've already pre-ordered a lot of the books that I wanted for this year. I am not worried about that really. I've ordered them all during Chapters Indigo's like 30% off holiday sale. So I got a good deal on literally all of them, so I'm not, like I said, super concerned about that. I've already pre-ordered most of the books I want for the first half of the year, and then what I've decided to do for the rest of the year is I decided I was going to give myself 5 authors to purchase from. So if any of these 5 authors announce a book at any point in the year, I can purchase it as soon as they announce it or like when it comes out or whatever. And so I picked my 5 authors. First one was Elle Kennedy, just because I know that if she's releasing a book in February, I've already pre-ordered it. It's called Good Girl Complex. I'm excited about that one, and if she announces the next one in the series, I know I'm gonna want it, and I don't know if it'll come out like then or whenever, but I do know I would want it. And I also really love anything that's co-written by Elle Kennedy and Serena Bowen, so if they announce something else, I would definitely want that as well. So Elle Kennedy's the first one. Next one is K.A. Tucker, and this one is solely because of Running Wild coming out in January. I need that book. I think by the time this video comes out, it'll be almost out, and I'm really excited for that one. It's the sort of third like full-length book in the Simple Wild series, and I just need that book. Like, that is probably my most anticipated book of this year, so that is why that is on this list, or why K.A. Tucker is on this list, is because of that book. Next is Abby Glines. This one is mostly because she's got the 2 Field Party books coming out this year. I've already pre-ordered the next one. I haven't pre-ordered the last one yet, but also she was supposed to have a book come out on Christmas that was supposed to be like the sequel to Lyrics of a Small Town, which I haven't read yet, but I do want to get to soon, and I know I'm going to want that. It was supposed to come out on Christmas, but it didn't, so I assume it's coming out at some point this year, so that's why she's on this list. The fourth one was Helena Hunting. She's like my favorite author of all time. I've already pre-ordered all of her books that are coming out next year that have been announced, and the last one I was kind of iffy on. I didn't really know who to pick because those were just kind of the only 4 that I really felt like I needed, but I decided for the last one I was going to pick Jennifer L. Armentrout because I am hoping to get to From Blood and Ash soon-ish, and I just have this feeling she's going to announce like the 5th book or like another book to go with A Shadow in the Ember in the fall, and I want to be able to get that when it comes out, so that's why I'm thinking I might put her on this list. But if like something else comes up, then I may like swap her out. But that's sort of my plan for this year, is just to buy less books, read more on Kindle Unlimited, and just kind of like find my groove. I feel like I've noticed lately too that like I really want to focus on like other romantic subgenres. I feel like there's so many channels that just talk about contemporary romance, but I really want to like do videos on like super niche like romance books and like different subgenres and like subtopics and whatever. Like, I would love to do one on like romantic suspense books, and I don't think I've ever really seen anyone do that. I mean, there's probably someone that has done that, but like it's not super common to see that. And I was thinking about that and how like I'd really like to like just like really deep dive into the romance genre in general, and just do like a ton of videos on different things within it, like books that are just vampires, books that are like werewolves, books that are like reverse harem bully romances, and then like the usual tropes like the good girl bad boy. I've never done those like basic trope videos, and so I'd really like to do those as well. And so that's kind of my plan for the year. I want to do some reading vlogs as well. I'm actually really excited about that. I haven't done reading vlogs mostly because I hate filming in my room without like my full like camera setup, and I just feel like that's excessive for a reading vlog. Like, no one wants like a stationary camera for a reading vlog. So I've been kind of trying to play around with that, and I think I finally like found a solution that I'm happy with, and so I'm excited to try that out, and hopefully that means that I will be doing more reading vlogs and just like more videos in general, which I'm really excited about, to help balance out how many books I'm reading. So I'm really excited to get to that. Those are just sort of my reading goals and channel goals for the year, sort of what I'm planning on hoping on doing. I just wanted to like post this video to sort of like start the new year and sort of explain like my vision for the year. And so anyway, that is everything for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I'll obviously have tons of new videos coming soon, so I'll see you next time.